There were blacksmiths who made tools, implements, and weapons, including helmets and armories. So these blacksmiths, they used to make tools, implements, and weapons, as well as the tools that were used during wars. Also, these helmets, they were worn over the heads during wars, and armories are actually the places where arms are kept. Arms means the weapons, the places where the weapons are kept. So these things were also made by the blacksmiths. There were weavers who made cloth. They were glassware as well. The people who used to make things out of glass. There were potters who made pots. So these kind of occupations also existed in Mesopotamian civilization. Now we will come to the most important portion of Mesopotamian civilization is Hammurabi's code of law. This is the most important portion of Mesopotamian civilization, as well as the unique concept of Mesopotamian civilization that we can say. Hammurabi was a great king of the Mesopotamians. He ruled during the period 2067 BC to 2025 BC. So Hammurabi was one of the greatest king of Mesopotamia who ruled till this time span, that is 2067 BC to 2025 BC. His one of the greatest achievement was his code of law. So what is this code of law? We will study in this new word. A code of law is actually a collection of laws arranged in a systematic way. The laws that are written in a systematic way or arranged in a systematic way, and those laws were meant to be followed by the people. So this code of law was most greatest achievement that was achieved by Hammurabi. Main features of Hammurabi's code of law. So what his code of law contained, that we will study here. His laws or code covered every aspect of life. These laws were total 282 in number. So his laws or code covered every aspect. Every aspect means from birth till marriage, family, death, occupation, everything. Every aspect of life was covered in this laws or code, and there were total 282 in number. The code recognized the division of society into rich men, poor men, and slaves. So according to this code, there was the division of society that we have already studied, the rich, poor, and the slaves, and prescribed different punishments for different classes for the same crime. And according to this division, various punishments were also prescribed according to various classes for the same crime. And then the third point of this feature is the main principle of the code was that the strong shall not injure the weak. This was the most important principle in Hammurabi's code of law, that a strong person should not injure a weak person. This is the most important code. Then the last code is, the code also contained rules about family life, trading, treatment of workers. So these things were also covered in the code. How a family life should be, trading, what kind of trading should be there, and what kind of treatment should be done to the workers. All these things were also written in that code of law. Then the system of writing. What kind of system of writing the Mesopotamians followed? The Mesopotamians were the first to develop the art of writing in the world. So they were the first people. The Mesopotamians were the first who developed this art of writing in the world. They began it somewhere in 4000 BC, first by drawing pictures. So this art of writing began somewhere in 4000 BC, and this was done by drawing some kind of pictures. We can see here, these are the pictures. This is obviously not any kind of proper language that we study today. These are some kind of pictures, and these pictures were used by the Mesopotamians as form as their writings. So we will study here the script that is mentioned here, that is the cuneiform script. So the Mesopotamian script is cuneiform script, is the earliest known writing system in the world. This is very important. The cuneiform script is the earliest known writing system in the world. The very first writing system in the world that existed was this cuneiform script. This script is known as cuneiform script. Cuneiform writing emerged in the Sumerian civilization of southern Iraq around 34th century BC. It began as a pictographic system of writing. Already we have studied about pictographic system in Indus Valley civilization. So this is also some kind of pictographic writing. We know that pictographic writing is called because they represent some kind of pictures. These are not normal writings or normal language that we study today. They are representation of some kind of pictures. That is why they are called pictographic writing. And why it is called cuneiform writing, we will study here. They wrote on tablets of clay with the help of a reed or bone. So they used to write bone because with bone because it has a pointed tip, and reed is this kind of structure, some kind of this pen like structure like this, and since this edge is a pointed edge, so they used to write with this edge. So this is a reed or bone they used to write. It had a wedge shaped point. So this writing has a wedge shaped point. We can see here in every writing this is a wedge shaped. We can see here, if we see it clearly, this wedge shape, this is the wedge shaped, this is wedge shaped. That is why this wedge shaped is there in every writing. Every writing you can see this wedge shaped is there, and for this reason their script came to be known as cuneiform script. Because of this wedge shaped writing, their script came to be known as cuneiform writing or cuneiform script. They wrote with a sharp pen called stylus. This is the stylus that I was talking about. This is the sharp pen. This is called the stylus, and this is the pointed tip which was used for writing purpose. So they used to write with this sharp pen called stylus. They had developed 350 signs. So the signs we can see here total, they had such kind of 350 signs. They wrote from right to left like the Urdu language script. We write down from left to right, but their script was right to left like in Urdu language. After writing on clay tablets, they were dried in the sun or even baked in the fire. So already I have told you regarding the procedure of writing in the clay tablets, that when it is smooth or soft, then it is written with this kind of pointed structure, and then it is either dried in the sun or baked in the fire to make it hard. This can be seen in a London museum and have been deciphered by scholars. So such kind of script is preserved in London Museum, and scholars are deciphering it. The script has already been deciphered by the scholars. Now we will come to these new words. Cuneiform script, the system of writing used most extensively in the ancient Middle East. This is a system of writing that was very much used in ancient Middle East countries. Then stylus, sharp point used to make grooves on a hard surface. That's sharp point that is used to make grooves or some kind of writing on the hard surface. Then growth of knowledge. The Mesopotamians made a great contribution in the growth of knowledge. Thousands of clay tablets have been dug out from under the earth. In the very beginning of the chapter, we studied that thousands of clay tablets were excavated from under the earth. At Tello in Sumeria, this is very important. At Tello in Sumeria, there was a big library having more than 3,000 tablets. So this library was discovered in Sumeria, which comprised of more than 30,000 tablets. The Tello library was perhaps the first library of the world. From these clay tablets, it appears that Mesopotamians were interested in literature. So by studying these clay tablets, we came to know that Mesopotamians were interested in literature, especially in stories, poems, hymns and epics. Hymns were the mantras that were used during worshipping of any god, and epics are the long poems. Like we have two epics in India, that is Ramayana and Mahabharata. They are the long poems, very long poems. So they also had these epics which describe the story of some kind of heroic personality. So these are the epics. Like the world famous epics, it's the Epic of Gilgamesh is world famous. Second point is the Mesopotamians had interest in mathematics as well. 60 was an important number in their numerals, so they used 60 for counting purpose. That was the most important number in their numerals, and that is why their system of counting was called sexagesimal. This is very much important. Their system of counting was called sexagesimal because they used 60 as their most important numeral. The Mesopotamians were quite good in astronomy too. So the Mesopotamians, they were very much good in astronomy. Astronomy is the study of the celestial bodies. So they were very good in astronomy. There was an observatory almost in every city. Already we studied regarding the observatories, that is ziggurats. We have studied here the ziggurats. They were the observatories. The ziggurats, they were the observatories, and since ziggurats existed in every city, so these observatories are obviously that they also existed in every city. So from that we come to know that they were very much good in astronomy. From there they studied the planets and stars and gave names to these.